Hi, my name is Lauren Hardy and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to show you 3 different ways that I use Propstream in my business that has helped me massively. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Lauren Hardy and today I'm going to show you 3 different ways of how I use Propstream to help me massively in my business. Now, a little bit about me. I am a virtual wholesaler. My company does about 75 plus deals a year and we do it all throughout the country. I use Propstream a lot in my day-to-day, and in this video I'm going to show you how it is a very, very helpful tool. In just a second, you are going to see a tutorial video where I am showing you how I work Propstream, and you can watch it step by step on my screen. Here are the things that I'm going to demonstrate. Number 1 is how I comp properties using Propstream. Number 2 is how I pull a list of motivated sellers for my cold calling and my texting campaigns. And number 3 is how I pull a list of cash buyers in my territories. So stay tuned and listen up. And if you guys have any questions, make sure you put them in the comment section.
Okay, the first thing I'm going to show you is how to comp a property using Propstream. So Propstream is a great tool. It's basically like having the MLS throughout the country. I used to have to beg a realtor to give me an assistant account to their MLS to get MLS access, which was very hard to do. And now with the invention of Propstream, I don't have to do that. So let me show you how to comp a house using Propstream. When you go into Propstream, this is usually what you go into, this main page, and you just put the address here. You can see mine is already saved. I'm going to do 1157 North Columbia Place in Tulsa. This is a house that we got under contract recently, so I thought it would be a good example. So when you type in your address, the actual address should pull down and you click on it and push search, and it gets you to this page. If you want to zoom in a little bit, this is how you do that. Zoom out a little bit, go like that. And it's going to give you some basic information. Now, what I do here, I kind of ignored this part. I don't really care. What I want to know is what the investors paid in the area, if any. So I go to this side and you can see that looks like maybe a smaller home, and they don't have a ton of information on it, probably because it's not reported at the county level. It's not any fault of Propstream, but it's still okay. I'm going to go by the square footage. It was built in 1943. I'm going to push details. It takes me to this page. So I can see a little bit about the property here. 990 square feet. This is the lot size. This is the year built. If you just scroll down, this is the basic, like what is at the county level known about the property. It will give you some assessed value. I wouldn't use that to come up with its value. It gives you, the owner name. So what I care about is I go to comp and nearby listings. What's cool about Propstream is it'll put preset filters. It'll do the last year of public record sales. You could also do MLS, and you can also do both. So if you do that, I'm going to leave it at both for now. And I'm going to make sure that the square footage parameters is where I want. Since it was a 990 square foot house, it's giving you, a little range here. If you don't like this range, you can stretch it out. Like if you don't get enough comps in this range, you can stretch that out. And it puts you at a distance of 0.5 miles. What I like to do is kind of zoom into the actual house itself at first to see like how many are just right in the neighborhood. You can see this house is in a weird part of town where there's a lot of commercial buildings. So you probably do need to scroll out a little bit to pull comps from wherever. But I'm definitely going to keep in mind that this house is not in the most ideal location, being really close to commercial. So then I go here, and this is the list of comps. They break it down. You can push flip comps only, which is basically houses that have been bought and sold twice within like the last maybe year or 6 months. So it gives you a whole list of comps that have been flipped, bought and sold very quickly. And it gives you, the amount, like how much they were purchased for. And you can even look at some photos. So this one, for example, you get to see all the photos. You could even look down at like the property history. One thing I would probably do is looking in more detail at each of these and looking at their history, like who bought them, because I want to know what buyer bought them for my buyers list. I'd like to know what the buy price was and what the sell price was. That helps me price out this home. Like, this is a total flip. This is a no-brainer. Look how pretty it looks, right? It probably was not like this when they bought it. Look at, they fixed it up. They painted it really nice. They painted over the cabinetry, it looks like, and put some granite on top. Looks really pretty, right? So it was sold February 2021. Let's see if we can see some history information. So it was sold for $115,000 in April. Okay, so I'm thinking that's when it was like resold. And it was sold to just like a normal person's name, right? But then King and King Properties, these are the people that flipped it. And let's see if it shows what they bought it for. Interesting. I don't see offhand where they bought it for. Maybe I'm missing it. Usually they would have a price at which they bought it for in here. For this one, they don't. And again, some of this is because of what was available at the county level. So yeah, I don't see any real what they bought it for on this one. Unless I'm missing it, which, it totally could be. Let's look at the tax information. Yep. Transaction history. We can also look at that. Sometimes it's buried in some of this stuff. So loan amount. Ah, here we go. Yes. Okay. So it was bought for $37,000, it looks like. And then they flipped it for $115,000. So cool. So, now I'm kind of looking, I'm going, okay, a fixer-upper could be bought for about $37,000, in this area by an investor. Investors are purchasing and paying that much for properties. But anyway, we're not done. Let's look at the cash buyers. So this is everybody who's bought a home in this area for cash for a property like this. It looks like my filters got reset for some reason. Let's go back. This is how you would modify that. So just go back 1 year. Well, let's see. Yeah, 1 year. 1, 2, 2. Oh, it is July as of the date of this video to now, and just do like this. You remember they did 750 to maybe like 1200. This is how you would modify everything, and just do maybe a half a mile. I think 1 mile is a little bit too much. So good, got the comps back. So if that ever happens, no big deal. That's how you do it. I'm just gonna look at these. What I like to do is just go lowest to highest, because I'm like thinking I'm an investor. I just want to get the price as low as I possibly can. You can see cash buyers have paid up to $65,000, but the house that I had, I know for a fact needs a ton of work. So I am going to be, more in like this range of offering for the home. I'm with, maybe the idea that I could sell it for this range to another investor. So this is it. I mean, honestly, it's not that hard. I don't overthink my offer prices. When I comp, I just want to know, like, is this house similar? You might be, if there, I don't think there's any photos of these guys, because usually it would have that little photo icon. But you can look, this is how you deep dive. You just click in. But yeah, basically for a house like the one that I had under contract, I'm going to go just kind of look at these details, see if they're around the same square footage, and assume, I know I don't have photos, which is kind of a bummer, but I'm going to assume that these are maybe similar to my property, given that they were older. The lot size is about comparable. These ones are a little bit more comparable. And the square footage is really low. So I'm probably going to just offer the seller somewhere between $20,000 and $25,000 to start and just see where they are with pricing. I am going to guess that this house, if I got it under contract at say 25, I could probably sell it for 33 to 35. I'm thinking this is probably a price that I could still be able to get. If I got it anywhere under like 33, I would be good. So I do not overthink my offer pricing. I know that that is probably a surprise to a lot of you people who follow the ARV minus repair rule. I think that rule stinks. So anyway, hopefully you guys kind of understand now how to pull comps. In this area, you've got flip comps, the neighbors, and this is just any kind of market sale, pre-foreclosures, bank-owned liens. I mean, it really shows you a lot about what's selling in the area. So that is step number one, how to comp a house. Then next is how to pull a motivated seller list. So in this, you're back here at the main page. You can do either up to 5 zip codes at a time, which I do, or you could do it by city or county. So I am going to do it by county. Tulsa, Oklahoma, and this is Tulsa City, this is Tulsa County. I'm going to pick the county of Tulsa. Now, they have a lot of quick list choices. You can do a vacant home, houses with liens, pre-foreclosures, auctions, etc. I'm sure you guys can read. These are all your options. My 2 favorite would be vacants, and then I like to do absentee owned. So I'm going to show you both. The first one, vacant. I do in these areas, I will leave. This is occupant status. I'm going to click vacant just in case, just in case it didn't automatically do it because I'm OCD like that. I am going to only do residential properties, and I really only care about single family in this area. I wouldn't say Tulsa is the greatest area for condos. I mean, we've done them though. Bedrooms and bathrooms, I don't really care. I don't want anything, too small, but I also don't want anything too big because I'm a wholesaler and I wholesale to landlord buyers and they don't like the big homes. Neither do the flippers because these like 4,000 square foot homes cost a lot. I'm going to leave the lot size like that. I just don't want big farmlands in my area. This wouldn't really attract anybody if it's this much square footage. In fact, I could probably cut this in a fourth and it still wouldn't, that would be about enough. But anyway, I just cut off anything that's like a farm or any kind of unusual property. I do 1900. This really depends on your area. So don't use my parameters for the year built. This is only my area, but I want an older home. Some parts of the country, like Florida, for example, you actually could go higher in the age because the houses are just newer there. For Tulsa, this is just very much for my territory. I recommend figuring out what your territory, the year built that investors are buying. I don't really touch a lot of this stuff because I don't want to cut off anything out of my list. If you over filter, like you don't really know if like the filter is correct per the way the county reports it. It's not like a Propstream issue. It's the county that reports this information and gives it to Propstream. And you don't know if they're right. So I choose to not over filter. I want to make sure that they've owned it at least 4 years. Typically sellers will think about selling every 4 to 5 years. So I just say 4 years to however long. And I really only want individuals and I want trusts. I don't want corporate owned. Corporate owned is usually someone like me. They're an investor. They're not going to really sell, or they're going to be difficult. They're not going to sell to me at a discount. Let's just say that. I don't leave anything there. And a big surprise is I actually don't put any equity filter in my list. I found that it's often incorrect. And I also found that if you do put equity, it's going to cut off a big chunk of your list. And if it's incorrect, well, then you just lost a bunch of leads. So these are my filters. These are the unique properties. I mean, awesome, 1,300. These are 1,300 sellers that have vacant homes, are possibly pretty motivated. And you're going to push add to a list and create a list for yourself. I'm not going to do it because it'll start taking away from the number that I'm allowed every month. But that's how you do it. And then from adding a list, you just choose to export to Excel if you want to take it out of your Propstream account and into another software. The next list that I really like would be the more of a tired landlord and absentee owner. So I'm going to remove that and I'm just going to say owner occupied no. So it was that simple. All the filters stayed the same. and I just did owner occupied. I made sure this was blank. I look at this to double check, and now we have 14,000 possible tired landlords. So this is how you pull a motivated seller list in Propstream. The next one is a list of cash buyers. So what I know that it has right here, cash buyers. That's great. You could do that. Here's my thing about cash buyers. I want to sell to anybody who's an investor, and investors often use loans to buy their properties. So if you're just getting people that buy with cash, you're going to miss out on the people that use hard money or private lender financing, anything that they had actually tie a deed of trust to the property. Cash buyers is basically there's no deed of trust tied to the property. So instead, what I do is I do non-owner occupied, and I change the date. So this is not what I want. I want people in the last, say, 6 months. So that to say, or maybe 1 year. Let's just do that since it only has years. And I'm going to remove cash buyers. So that's the way I would probably do it is this is anybody that's had a loan, owner occupied, no, they bought it within 1 year. So these are people recently buying homes, and they could be investors because they don't live in the property. So I got 746. Let's see what happens if you select cash. It would likely be less, is my thinking. Yeah. So that just cut off 300 people. So in those 300 people, those people could have just gotten loans. They're still investors, but they got loans. A lot of people get loans in this area, and they get portfolio loans, and they buy rentals with them. So I don't want to cut them out. So this is a big thing that people don't realize. This is after 10 years of pulling lists and data, I figure things out. So that's a ninja one. Make sure you store that and don't make this mistake. And that's it, guys. That's it for this side of the tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it.
All right, guys, that's it. I hope you found that extremely helpful. Now, I understand that wholesaling can get very, very technical, and I really advise that you align yourself with a coach that knows what they're doing. If you're interested in my coaching program specifically, go to www.virtualinvestingmastery.com. If you want a free mini course, go to my personal website, www.laurenhardyco.com, and get the free mini course. Thanks so much for watching today.